Okay, so I already recorded this and then realized that this mic wasn't working. So I'm going to record it again. And also have not washed my face. My hair is a little oily. So, yeah. I was going to post this on my Instagram story because I post a lot of rants and stuff on my close friends or like on my public story and stuff, but and I'm funny. But I was like I might as well post this on here because I was like telling my friends and stuff. I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna post on YouTube because I used to post just like video diaries where I wouldn't show my face. When I was like, being homeschooled and stuff. I was homeschooled during high school, so I didn't have a lot of friends after middle school. Like, I mean, I was still friends with my real life friends online and stuff, and then I moved, so it was kind of hard. And I really only had one friend here that I knew from middle school. Long story. Um, but the point is that I just want to talk about this because I think it's funny, but I also don't think it's funny. I think most people know what Omegle is. I'm 20, so most people that are Gen Z and stuff, I mean, even like millennials, kind of, they know what Omegle is. Because they had, what's it called? AOL. They had AOL. And so, I guess Omegle was kind of like AOL in a way, because they had text too. Anyways, a lot of people my age went on Omegle as kids, teenagers, blah blah blah. I didn't go like. I think the first time I went on Omegle, I think I was like 11.
What?
So that is really young. And I made online friends over there. I made online friends. I made like two of my first online friends were from Omegle, and then Roblox. Because I also used to play Roblox a lot. I still do, once in a while. Roblox is also a big thing. I love me some
Okay.
Roblox. But anyways, I would go on Omegle from time to time. I think the first time I went on was I was 11, and then I went on a few times, and I stopped, because there's disgusting things on there, disgusting people. Um, I'm not going to say half of the things I've seen on there other than dick, um, because there is worse. Somehow, like all those things are bad, right? But there are things I saw like things a lot of people my age had seen on there that I should not have seen that at that age. And a lot of us did have uncensored things on the internet. When I was a kid, there was a lot of things on like YouTube and stuff, and just the internet in general that I think should have not been so easily accessible to children and teenagers and just minors in general. Because it does change you. Like, you shouldn't be seeing those things that young. Some people think like, oh, I see. I watched gore, so like I don't even care when I see a horror, and I don't care when I see guts and blood. You are not cool. You are not cool. You are not different. You are not niche. Like, it's just bad. Um, but basically, being on the internet as a teenager, well, as a kid, around the time that I went on Omegle for the first time, I was definitely like I was really into like emo, and not like whatever people think is emo now. People see an alternative person, they go emo. No, like I liked actual emo music, and I really wanted a side part. I wanted my hair kind of cut like a scene haircut, and my mom didn't like me. I wanted rainbow hair. I wanted to be Rainbow Dash, and my mom was like, no. Not because she thought it was bad. It's just because I was young, and like she was just also I had very very nice long hair, and my mom was like, no, like I love your hair, so no. She probably would have let me do the side bang. I wish I had pictures because I was really self conscious at some point after that age, and so I deleted like so many pictures of myself around that time that I took. But just imagine I have really fucked up teeth. I have two snaggle teeth up here, and my teeth are crossed over. I have long like dark brown hair, thick dark brown hair, and I had a really bad side part that would go over my eye, and I would always wear like a Pierce the Veil shirt, or a 21 Pilot shirt, or a Sleeping with Sirens shirt, or like just other stuff, just other dumb shit. I would, oh my god, I had these jeans I got from Hot Topic that I used to willingly wear when I first started middle school. They were like white and black striped, right? Jeans. And they were skinny jeans because I used to love skinny jeans, skinny ripped jeans and like big t shirts. I'm not gonna criticize myself because I was very young. And I feel like back then, like when I, or not back then, but like after when I turned like 13, 14, I was like, ew, I was so ugly. But like I was literally a little girl. Then when I got to middle school, I didn't really go on Omegle. Okay, so my phone actually did die. um, so I decided to wash my face and look a little bit better. But where did I leave off? Oh, in middle school, like sixth and seventh grade, um, I wasn't going on Omegle. Yeah, I really wasn't going on Omegle because I lived in a different state. I'm originally from Florida, so I was living in Georgia. I am from Miami. And so I was living in Georgia, going to middle school in Georgia. And then I moved. I moved to Miami. And so when I moved to Miami, that's where my two cousins are that I grew up with. And we're very, very close. And so when I got to the eighth grade, I switched over to a school in Miami. And then I made a lot of the friends that I still have now. I really only have one real friend that I knew here in middle school that I'm still friends with now, or I guess two. Um, and so when I went to Miami is where I met a lot of the friends that I still am in contact with now, and I'm so cool with. And so when I got to the eighth grade, obviously, it was 2019, 2020. So wait, yeah, 2019, 2020, and so then COVID hit. It was like March, and they were like, 2 weeks off school. I was like, and I go to my cousin's house. Actually, we ended up living with my cousins for like 2 months, and we were in quarantine. So all both of my cousins were homeschooled, and I was now kind of being homeschooled. It was like not real homeschool. If you've really been homeschooled, you know what homeschool is versus whatever we had going on in public school when they had to switch over to school at home, I guess. I wouldn't call it homeschool because it's a little different. The Zooms and everything. And, it's teachers that are used to teaching in the classroom, getting used to teaching outside of the classroom at home. So it was very different because I've been homeschooled. I switched to homeschool after that. So I know that there's a big difference, especially with grading and everything. It's very different. So it's the three of us. It's quarantine. So we're like, what are we going to do? Play Roblox. Make online friends on Roblox. Get on Discord. Go on Omegle. So we went on Omegle. We would go on Omegle like every night. Every night. We were up hella late just on Omegle, yelling, laughing, screaming, trolling, like all this stuff. My cousins, they have a boy cousin, and he would put like pillows or whatever in his shirt and pretend to be a girl with big tits. We should not have been doing that, but we were minors, like it's whatever. And so yeah, we would go on Omegle. I think we all had made one friend on Omegle. Other than that, we'd also go on Roblox a lot. If anybody remembers, it'd be like, oh, anybody want to mic up? Mic up. We would go on Club Iris. Oh my God, Club Iris. We would go on there and play the sword. Like we would go and sword fight, and then we would ask you if they wanted to mic up, and then just like troll people. And we were very like quiet. We'd get in those Discord calls and not say anything, and then leave. I'd be like too scared to say anything sometimes. Or we'd pretend to be like boys. Um, and yeah, after that, I went back to living with my grandma because I was with my cousins for like 2 months. And then after that, I was living again with my grandma, and I would go. I would call my cousins every night, and we'd be on FaceTime. I'd go on Omegle, they'd go on Omegle at the same time. Blah blah blah. And I did make some online friends from Omegle at the time that I'd play games with and stuff, Among Us and Roblox and Gotcha Life. And then after that, I moved back to Georgia, and I switched to officially being homeschooled. So I was in a real like homeschool Yeah, I was in a real homeschool. I was actually being homeschooled, and so it was a different switch for me. I didn't have a lot of friends. You know, I wasn't very socialized. I didn't have a job. I switched to homeschool still during my freshman year. Yeah, spring of freshman year. I switched to homeschool, and then after that, I was homeschooled for the next 3 years. Um, and then when I started living here, I really didn't hang out with anybody. I didn't like friends wise. I didn't have any friends. I most of the time was hanging out with my mom. I hung out with my mom the most during high school. Like it was just really with my mom. I hung out with my mom a lot, and I still do. I love my mom, and we have a good relationship. So we hang out a lot. She's like my best friend. And so I started going on Omegle again. Um, a decent bit. I would go on Omegle. The only friend I can say that I've kept on Omegle before I got banned was my friend Makai. We are still friends now. I am 20, and we became friends like a few years ago, probably like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Um, no, yeah, like 2 years ago, I think. I don't know. I'm bad with time. I'm bad with time. Anyways, I think my senior year is where I was going on there a lot, like end of my junior year and then my senior year, because I was like, I'm ready to get out of school. I had gotten my first job. I'm ready to socialize. Not a good way to socialize, but I would go on there and troll people with the truth, and I'm like, how do you troll people with the truth? Like the reason that I even brought up gender expression. This is another part that I thought I was talking about in the video that I had actually deleted because of the bad quality or the bad audio quality. Basically, the point of me saying that, like the whole gender expression thing, is that I express my gender very, I guess, in a fluid way. I identify as a man sometimes, or a woman, or non-binary, and that's what I meant by that. And that has to do with the way I was trolling people at the time. The reason that I even brought up any of that is because some people couldn't tell whether I was a girl or a boy, and so I would go on there, and people would think I was like a femboy. People would think I was, or like people would think I was, yeah, they would think I was a femboy. They would think I was a cis gay man, and I'd be like, no, I'm not. I actually was born a girl. But sometimes I identify as a boy. So I start telling them all this stuff that to those people that think like that, they're like, what the fuck are you even saying? You know, I'd be like, yeah, I identify as a boy sometimes. Sometimes I identify as a girl. Sometimes I identify as neither. So I guess sometimes you could say I'm a gay man. Sometimes you could say that I'm a straight girl. Sometimes you could say that I'm a lesbian, because I like anybody, right? I like any gender, you know, non-binary people, whatever, blah blah blah. And they'd be like, "What the fuck?" Like it's just funny to me. And so I would troll people with that. Sometimes I'd troll people and literally just lie. Like I would just lie. They'd be like, "Oh, they'd ask me." Okay, so actually I had the video cut. I stopped recording. But basically, the point of what I was saying was just that I would go along with whatever people would ask me. Like, if somebody asked me, like, something random, I'd go either yeah or no, and then just go along with whatever they said. Just for the fuck of it, honestly. Yeah, the point of me even talking about this and posting a video about it is just because I think it's just, like, it's funny, but it's not funny. That we were all on, like, a lot of people were on Omegle at that age. And you see a lot of things that are dumb, and like people have seen the worst versions of me as a teenager, as a dumb little fucking homeschooled kid, like, and it's just funny to talk about, I guess. But I when if I have children, like, they are not, no iPad, nothing, like, and if they do get it, it will be very monitored, and I'm not like really blaming my mom. It's just like we were all on it, most of us at least. If you weren't, you are blessed. Okay, you're blessed. Thanks.